Hey, what's up, you guys? My name is Josh. Welcome back to another toy review, and today we're taking a look at the Ultra Monster Series number 5, Eleking, who first appeared in the show Ultra 7 and Episode 3, Secret of the Lake. So, yeah, basically, Eleking's whole story is that he's supposed to be an eel type creature. I don't know if you notice, especially with how bizarre his design is. He was raised pretty much his whole life by the alien pit creatures that are planning to, what else? Take over the earth with Eleking. Remember, folks, remember in the last video? In the not the last video, in the last toy review when I was when I was reviewing Ultra 7, I told you guys that the whole show had a huge focus on alien invasions and all that. Well, there you go. There goes another example. But no, Eleking, he's without a doubt, he's definitely one of those very, very interesting kaijus in the whole Ultra series. And of course, he would make multiple appearances here and there. He wouldn't make a return until Ultra Mentoro in the form of Eleking 2. Fun fact, Eleking, because he's an eel, has like electricity powers, but Eleking 2 from Ultra Mentoro can literally shoot fire from the tip of his tail. So okay, that's something I never thought would be a thing. Especially when most Elekings are pretty consistent, they're all pretty much the same, and even their backstory is pretty much the same too. So okay, at least you got that. So, without further ado, let's take a look at his tag first, because that's how these figures always come. They don't come boxed or anything, they just come hanged. The little tags. So you could kind of see Ultra 7 fighting against Eleking. And I love how dirty and messed up his suit is, because that's another funny thing too in the episode. That obviously you can see that Eleking, he's like it's not really white. I can't really exactly describe the paint job, like what kind of white you really want to call this. I don't know. What is this, like oatmeal? Not exactly sure. But the reason why I wanted to mention that is because, well, since Eleking is from the water, and because technically this was a suit that an actor was wearing, the suit got like very dirty and all that. So little by little, it was becoming brown. So I just thought that was interesting to point out. That's not to say that this figure doesn't have good paint. It does. In fact, I wanted to kind of point this out too. See this nice little spray that you kind of got going on? I mean, it looks like it was sprayed. I don't know exactly how they painted it. To be fair, I don't really know exactly how most of these vinyl figures are made anyway. I mean, it still looks cool. And I'm mentioning that too because it looks like he has waist articulation, but he really doesn't. He kind of got that weird thing going on where it's pretty much glued on there, so he was in two pieces. But besides that, it's all good. I just thought I pointed that out. You know what? At least they were very careful too, because you can see how like this black pattern, you see how this kind of going on. At least it's consistent. At least it kind of connects. Because with most figures, especially with the data review that I did, he had like those black lines, and it's like because of the way that the waist was put on. Yeah, it didn't look too right. In fact, I'll do a comparison towards the end of the video. So let me just go over before I talk about the sculpt. I mean, I'll just get that out of the way anyway. It looks perfect. I'll say that for the most part. Most of these figures do look pretty identical to how they were, especially this one. He definitely looks a lot like his original appearance. And the reason why I mention that is because in some incarnations with Eleking, especially with Eleking too, he looked almost like this, but a little more chunkier. He would make an appearance in the show Ultra and Max, but he was like completely white, but like a white color, not like this kind of color he got going on. Not to mention that he got a lot more of those black spots kind of going on. I can't really call them spots because they're not really circles, but you get the point. So yeah, sculpting is fine, but the paint job, of course, it's left to be desired because it's good. It looks like Eleking. I mean, you can see, if I can kind of focus a little bit here, show off his antennas, which, spoiler alert, that's his weakness, you know. Uh, yeah, unfortunately, he did got a little bit of some black paint right there, but obviously I had this for a while, so, don't mind me. Oh, and I forgot to mention the teeth on this little bastard. Look at that. Look how perfect that looks. I love how it's painted silver, too. You see, the figure does got good paint. My issue is that obviously you could, if you look around in the detailing and all that, there's parts where they're obviously supposed to be painted more, so I don't know if they just ran out of black paint or if they just got lazy. I'm just gonna assume, the obvious, because they're always pumping out figures like crazy. Well, sometimes. I know when this toy line first started, they used to pump these things out like crazy, but now they kind of take their time, so they kind of release them simultaneously whenever, whenever Bandai feels like it. Listen, it's all good, Eleking, he's pretty cool. I like the way he looks. My only issue is just the paint job, especially his neck too. You could kind of tell see that those little spot areas. That's where he's definitely supposed to have some more paint. So that is a little bit disappointing that he don't got a lot of it, but it's not too bad, I guess. I don't know. I kind of wish it was slightly more painted. But, sculpting and everything else, it's fine. So let me go over the articulation. So, of course, he has 3 points of articulation. You would think 4, but obviously the waist is glued on there, so you ain't moving that. The arms can move full 360 with no issue, as you can see. The tail does move. But honestly, that's pretty cool because I like to think that you could do like a tail whip. I mean, it makes sense because in the episode, when he was fighting against Ultra 7, he wrapped his tail around him and he pretty much electrocuted him, which I thought was really cool. That's definitely like one of his more like powerful attacks basically when he fights against good old Ultra 7. So, speaking of Ultra 7, ta-da. So I guess if you want them to like fight each other or whatever, you could like, I don't know, you could try, but you're not gonna get it right. His tail was a lot more longer than that, but obviously it's not because the tail is inconsistent. It's pretty much perfect. That's pretty much like the length that it is. It's just in the show sometimes when they do weird stuff like that, they kind of exaggerate it a little bit. So it's like, wait a minute, his tail was obviously not that long, but it was still able to reach Ultra 7. So okay, just to kind of give you guys an idea. Since we're pretty much towards the end of the video anyway, I might as well show you guys, the sizing. And yeah, unfortunately, he does suffer that issue that he's a little bit on the small side. Everything else is perfect, just not that. So yeah, but the sizing, it's not too much of a big deal, sort of. I mean, it is a big deal because he should be a lot more taller and bigger, but at least he's not like super small because yes, there's going to be times in this toy line where you'll get monsters that will definitely should have been a lot more bigger. So trust me, if you guys think that I'm just giving too much positivity toward these figures, no, trust me. There's definitely going to be some that's a little bit on the pretty disappointing side. So yeah, just thought I'd warn you guys on that. So of course, since I've mentioned Data before, I just thought I'd bring him out too. I already did a review of him, so if you guys want to go check that out, you definitely can. So this is what I was talking about with see how he got glued on there? You see how perfect the lines are? They look pretty good and consistent, but then you ended up towards this part with the waist and they just completely ruined it. And obviously, since these are Japanese toys, they don't have these in the US. You're kind of taking your chance getting them, like whoever takes them out, and it's like they send it to you, and it's like you don't know if the paint's gonna be consistent. So unfortunately, yeah, he does suffer that issue. Unlike Eleking, where at least he doesn't. So yeah, I just thought I'd show you guys just to kind of give you guys a good idea of what I mean. And just in case for some people that were wondering why did I call him Data, because that's literally his name. I know it's pretty weird. And of course, last but definitely not least, the next figure I'm going to be reviewing is Alien Metatron. So yeah, there you go. That's looks pretty good. Well, what can I say? I love doing these reviews. So yeah, that's about it, right? So overall, I'll give this figure a 9 out of 10. I mean, I would give it a 10 out of 10. But I will admit the paint job, it does bother me a little bit, not that much. If it did bother me a lot, I would have given it like a lower score. I think 9 out of 10 is fine. Yeah, sizing wise, should have been a little bigger, but at least he's not like super small. And the antennas does help a little bit, so okay. Eleking, you got lucky, you big bastard. But till then, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you love seeing these, hey, leave a like and subscribe to the channel because I'm definitely gonna be doing a lot more of these than than how I did it last year. I did a lot of these videos very just kind of randomly, but definitely, I set up premieres now. I do these videos ahead of time, so definitely for sure, I'm going to try my best not to be so inconsistent with my reviews, even though I can't really promise that. But you get the point. I mean, who doesn't love the Ultra series anyway? So until then, see you guys in the next one. Peace.